Can Donald Trump reduce house prices? A recent study by Redfin found that millions of Americans are skipping meals, selling belongings, and even delaying medical care to afford housing. 3 in 4 Americans making less than $50,000, nearly half of Americans make under $50,000, say they, quote, regularly struggle to keep a roof over their head. This is partly because incomes have lagged inflation under Joe Biden, but mostly because the average mortgage payment is now nearly $3,000, which is almost double since pre-pandemic. So either homeowners pay that or they have to pass it through to renters. So how can we fix it? So Joe Biden's inflation sadly is permanent. The Fed will sell its children to avoid deflation. The other major ingredient, high mortgage rates, is also stuck, with Jerome Powell telegraphing he's in no rush to cut rates with inflation rising again. Still, there's a couple things that the federal government, Trump and Congress, can do. First is cutting government spending, whether through the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, or dare we dream Congress. This slows inflation so the problem stops getting worse. It also stops the bleeding in construction costs, which are up 55% since 2019, and are a major barrier to new housing. Spending cuts also allow lower rates since it gives the Fed breathing room, as in they don't have to strangle the economy with high rates and high mortgages if inflation is under control. Number 2 is specific policies. So mass deportation will obviously help lower housing costs, especially for lower-income homeowners who are hurting the most. A recent study found there's a shortage of roughly 7 million low-income rental units in the U.S., which by happy coincidence is roughly the number of low-income units occupied by illegal immigrants. Sounds like a perfect match. Number 3 is actually out of Trump's hands, property tax. So nationwide, these are calculated as a percent of the home price, meaning if your house doubled because the Fed held rates too low too long, or because mortgages are so expensive nobody can afford to move, you go from $2,000 in property tax to $4,000. This can feel like you're renting the house you own and they set the rent whatever they like. Unfortunately, cities and counties who set these taxes do not lower the rates when the house prices go up. They simply grab the extra money and spend it. And that brings us to number 4, regulation. You'll probably be shocked that federal, state, and local rules all conspire to push up home prices. This includes permits, zoning and land use, building codes that range from restrictive to predatory. It includes regulations on homeowners insurance that's driven prices up by nearly half since 2019. It's tripled in Florida. And it includes green mandates that, according to my colleague E.J. Antoni, add $31,000 to the cost of a home. That's not including the appliances, where the Greens are trying to tack thousands on your fridge, stove, and air conditioner. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. The biggest drivers of housing costs are ultimately government spending, inflation, or rates. But deportation, deregulation, and property tax can bring the burden down even if the feds keep blundering us into million-dollar starter homes. Of course, that would all involve government giving up control and treasure, so it will take sustained pressure to get Congress off their butts to help Americans who are trading food for rent. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.